Hi folks. So Volte, that's what you have to turn on your phones now. So Sweden, along with America, but Sweden just gave notice just a couple weeks ago that they were going to turn off a lot of people's phones. And we have a main phone carrier here in Sweden, and then you have other ones. But they kind of share the lines with Telia, which is the major player, of course. So Telia told the other companies, of which one of them I have, Combik, to go out and tell their customers that if they didn't have compliant phones with the new system for dialing emergency number, then you would be shut off. Some of the people that, you know, are with certain companies, they'd be shut off by the 9th of December. What? And then, like my company, it told me that I had until the 2nd of February 2026 to be compliant with my phone. Otherwise, even though I've always paid my bills and I'm a good customer like everybody else, they would just shut it off. You couldn't use your phone. Because you see, Sweden is very worried about people having phones where they can't call what you'd be 911 in your place, but it's 112 here. Well, the interesting thing in this whole debacle is that not only is it right before Christmas, and they seem like they want to force people to buy phones, and probably what it seems to me, force people to buy phones that are 5G, just to make sure. Because they said that even though you are 4G compliant, your phone might not work and we're going to shut you off. Well, what they forgot to tell people was it was the Volte system, is what it's called, VOLTE. Interesting. So there's LTE, something light technology that the 4G goes on. None of the companies, none of the news, none of any information that I had was telling me that all you have to do, people, you would tell them, right, normally, on the news and everywhere, that, hey, you have to go and make sure your phone can be turned on to VOLTE system, voice over light technology. That's all. Turns out that I went on the internet and saw that my phone was actually capable of this, but they had kind of hidden it in the phone, which they do for some reason. So for those that don't know, you click on the part on your phone where you go into the phone, the little round wheel, and then you go to SIM card. You click on the SIM card you have, and then you scroll down. There might be an option for you to turn on Volte. So, now nobody said anything, and I said today, this is days later, I called my company many times. I had to sit forever because now most of the people in Sweden are frightened because they keep talking about the 3 and 2G being shut down, and they're not giving anybody clear, concise information on what exactly your phone needs to be capable of. They just say some 4G phones won't work. Well, why don't you just tell people straight up, go look in your phone and see if you can find Volte and turn it on. Well, I made a call to this number because finally today, after 2 hours in a phone line, somebody got back to me and said, call 225 in Sweden. I'm just going to make sure because I don't want to get that wrong. Yep, call the number 225. Just write that call if you live in Sweden, okay? And there's a computer that will tell you, it'll say, you are 4G enabled and you are okay. Or it'll say you are only 3G and 2G. And I turned off the VOLTE and it said, you are only 3 and 2G compliant. Your phone will stop working from the 9th of December. So why the hell was I put through all this trauma and having been forced to go get a new phone because my phone wasn't on any of the lists, of course? Well, because people do not want to buy new phones. They don't want the 5G phones because they are radiating you to death in a different frequency form that people don't really understand. A lot of people have perfectly good phones. And no, it's not because they want us to be able to call 911 or 112. That's bullshit. We could have done that through roaming or any other thing on the phone. This is bullshit. Sweden was just forcing just hundreds of thousands of people to go and buy new phones because they want to kickstart the stupid freaking telecom industry and try to get people forced onto the 5G phones because most people are reading, that's all they were writing everywhere, it's the 4G problem. Well, I just want to tell people something. I've been doing a lot of research over the past 13 years because I'm very sensitive to Wi-Fi. 5G rides on 4G. They can't give you only 5G. 4G has always got to be there. Now my new phone has 16 different bands of 4G. And it is more up to date. It is an Android 13 in it, which my old one wasn't. So, and it wouldn't update anymore, of course, which is also a problem. Another problem is I have paid for data traffic, but I have a Xiaomi, which is, I like Chinese or something, and it wants me to update only using Wi-Fi for some reason. Yeah, I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so no. My point is that Sweden has done something very not okay to its people, and it gave them a very short span of time to fix or find out about their phones. Now, if you're older than me, you're probably going to be freaked out. If you're just a regular person that's got everything hooked up to your old phone. And the voice over light technology is probably in many phones, but there's a lot of them that don't have that. So they're just doing this to force us into a newer form of technology, which is not necessary for us. Everything 5G is solely military and control based, all this surveillance crap that they want to do to us. They can only do it with their 5G system. So that's why they're trying to force everybody onto this. Your phone is not faster, your internet is not faster, it's all bullshit. The 4G was already bad, like irradiating bad. But I want people to understand that you can go to YouTube and people will teach you how to find the VOLTE part in your phone. And just look up, like, how do I find Volte? And then you put your phone name in. A lot of people are going to help you with that. It's a very sinister time we're living in, people. They know that people they cannot afford to buy the new stuff, and they don't want to. People are having a hard time paying their bills and living as it is. And they're just trying to force us into a surveillance technology that is absolutely sinister, horrible. And I want you to know that. So, yeah. This is what's going on. So they put me through hell, and well, I do have a better updated phone now. Unfortunately, my parents, they gave it to me as a gift, and it's not as super expensive. I bought a refurbished one, but I was still very, very worried until I managed to get my phone company to give me a simple number to call Why was this not out there everywhere for everybody to just go and do? No. There's something called Post och telestyrelse, the post and telecom service in Sweden. Everybody should have pointed them to that site, and everybody should have said, there's a number you can call from the phone you're using, and you will get a direct message if it's compliable or not. But the fact is that most people don't know how to turn on the system in their phone, if they even have it. It's because I've been sitting for days and days on end on YouTube. And finally, I was able to go and find this on my phone. I mean, honestly, there is no honesty in the business today. And it's very upsetting. So yeah, I bought a refurbished phone, and my parents are paying for it, which is very nice. I feel bad though, because maybe I wouldn't have had to. But on the other hand, mine wasn't updating anymore, so it would have been non-compliant within a year or two anyway. There is just a lot of deception going on, people. So yeah, everybody go to your little round wheel on your phone, click it, go find SIM card, and when you open it, it says, the SIM card says whatever company you're with. You click on that, and then you scroll down. That's one of the ways you might find the system. Other people give you actual codes, like star, the square thing, and they'll give you numbers, and then star and square thing again, and it will take you straight to it in your phone. Sometimes it's hidden. I actually found somebody to help me put my phone in developer mode, which means I've taken control of certain things in it, like, you know, the lighting that shuts off all the time, even though I don't need it to. You can learn a lot on YouTube. Thank goodness. You know, especially if you have a VPN, private internet access, so you can go between countries, because Sweden is censoring so many things that it's absolutely mind-blowing. Like, seriously frightening. I'm glad that I've had VPN for many years, and I'm sure they're going to try to target that at some point. Because every country is trying to shut us off from every other country with information to control their people. This is very, very frightening. And we have to stop it, people. We have to stop it. This has gone way too far. And so, I hope I taught you something about Volte. It might actually be in your phone hidden. And your 4G. You do have 4G on your phone. Nobody has a simple phone with just 3 and 2G. There is 4G on it. And mine only had 5 or 6 bands of 4G. And it still works. It was compliant when I called the number. So I'm going to keep that as a spare phone in case something happens. Yeah, people. These corporations and governments we're living with are so corrupt, it's unbelievable. They're trying to trick you and scare you into, and force you, by whatever means they can, onto the absolute 100% surveillance system. And that would be the 5G. So, and that is, 5G is always been and is only, and has been deemed very dangerous for people's health a long time ago. It is a weaponry frequency. And so is 2.4 to 5 gigahertz, which is what every phone runs on, and also your microwave oven. These are microwave frequencies, and they are categorized in the category of radar. So they can see through your walls. And that is, of course, as many of us already have known for years, why they banned lead paint, because that's the only thing that will stop people from actually beaming through your wall. And that's what they want to do. So, yeah, when you have Wi-Fi on 24/7, people at your house, you're in radar. I've talked to people that work at airports, and they do know this. So, anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. I have a website where I have a category, and it says 4G, 5G, it says 5G and EMF. And you have more than enough to start you off there. It is on heatherthunderhawk.com. And there's that. Good luck, people. Bye.